Hi everyone, my name is Martin. I'm a 30-year-old Filipino, and 7 months ago I was diagnosed with mixed phenotype leukemia, which is basically two forms of leukemia. One is acute myeloid leukemia and acute lymphocytic leukemia. Leukemia is a type of cancer which affects the bone marrow and the blood. Blood cells will just multiply uncontrollably and push out the healthy ones. Over time, if left untreated, it will lead to infections, which will eventually be fatal. Leukemia can pretty much affect anybody of any age, but it's a little more prevalent in kids up to age 2 and in their teenage years. Leukemia is also the leading cause of cancer-related deaths in children. When I was diagnosed, my mom and my girlfriend were by my side, and when they heard it, I think they were also in shock. They were just in complete dismay. And then later on, when my dad came by, he was just pretty much in awe as well. For treatment, the first kind of treatment I had was called induction chemotherapy, which is relatively standard type of chemo, but after a bone marrow biopsy to see how things stood, I still had remnants of leukemia, so they had to switch me to a stronger kind of chemotherapy called salvage therapy. That eventually worked, but along the way I had many complications. I developed a fungal infection called mucormycosis, which I still have. It affected my lung, my liver, and my small intestine. And in August, it got so bad that they had to remove 50 centimeters worth of small intestine because it was so diseased and it was so painful to eat, and I was no longer making any bowel movements. And I'm still taking medication to this day to deal with lesions in my liver and a nodule in my lung. I had to basically learn how to walk again because I was pretty much bedridden for like several weeks. Apparently I'm in relapse, so in the early stages of relapse, so I'm taking basically a last-ditch form of chemotherapy, and hopefully something will come of it. Being diagnosed with leukemia has affected me in a profound way, in that before I was diagnosed, on top of working full-time, I exercised daily. I would either be lifting weights or going for a jog, like literally every day. And then on top of that, I played sports competitively, such as bowling, volleyball, and ultimate frisbee. And then also I volunteered as a youth 10-pin bowling coach, coaching kids anywhere from 4 years old to 21, 22 years old. And I also served as a treasurer for a nonprofit organization to promote the sport of 10-pin bowling in British Columbia. So it's to go from that to just sitting around, just waiting, just trying to recuperate and rest, but really having no sense of real control over of getting better other than resting. It's been really frustrating, and I have a sense of helplessness. Because I'm in relapse, my prognosis is that I have approximately 3 months to a year left to live. A stem cell transplant is a procedure which infuses healthy stem cells from a donor to my body and to restore the bone marrow and produce healthy cells once again. The issue with this transplant is that you need to have a donor that matches you, and in my case, I don't have any right now. In terms of relatives, my parents are at an advanced age, and their immune systems that I would receive them from them will probably not work. I also had a sibling, but he's passed away 10 years ago, and that was my best chance. So that's out of the question. So I have to rely on unrelated donors. The issue with unrelated donors is that there's none right now, and currently out of the donor registry, only 1% are Filipinos, and the best chance of finding a match is someone with the same ethnic background as you. So as a Filipino, it's really hard to find a match. Essentially, a stem cell transplant will save my life. It is a be-all, end-all. It will put a stop to this chemotherapy that I've had to endure for several months, and I would be able to resume my normal activities, enjoy life, and have a whole new perspective on things in a good way. My biggest fear is that I'm going to re-experience those symptoms of leukemia, such as those night sweats, the fatigue, the strep throat, because now I know what to expect, and if that happens again, I know that the end will be soon. And what keeps me up at night is the frustration of being basically a slave to this disease that can affect anyone, whether you take care of yourself or not. And in my case, I took great pains to take care of myself. I exercised daily, I ate my vegetables, and yeah, it's really frustrating, and that keeps me up at night. To slowly fall into those symptoms again would be pretty horrific for me, because I would know that the end would be coming soon if I don't get a transplant. So, in the hopes of finding a match, a stem cell drive is being held at the Croatian Cultural Center in Vancouver on Saturday, February 2nd and Sunday, February 3rd, both days from noon to 6 p.m. The address is 3250 Commercial Drive. So for potential donors, it's a really painless and quick procedure. It's just a swabbing, a cotton swab basically inside your cheek. There are also 33 other Filipino patients in Canada that are in need of a stem cell transplant and are looking for matching donors. So hopefully from this drive, there will not only just be a match for myself, but for those other patients, and not to just find matches, but to spread awareness about the seriousness of this. And if I had a matching donor and the stem cell transplant worked out and I became better, I would definitely travel. I would go to Asia, I would go to South America, go to the Philippines for the first time. And then I would basically just live life to the fullest, treat each day like it's my last, and I would definitely sign up for the Canadian Blood Services as a volunteer, and I would just basically help out in any way or shape or form I can. My message to the world is basically just live it up. Just live every day like it's your last. Don't stop planning so far into the future, because you never know what's going to happen and how much time you have left. Things can change in an instant, and things you had planned even a year from now may seem pretty much impossible. So just, if there's something you want to do and enjoy or experience, just do it, and do it now. Thanks for hearing my story out. If you can, please try to attend the stem cell drive at the Croatian Cultural Center. If you're between the ages of 17 and 35, it doesn't matter if you're Filipino or not. There's always someone out there who's in need of a stem cell transplant. If you're unable to attend, please visit the website onematch.ca. Thanks again.